Hello, Commanders, and welcome back to Elite Dangerous Return from Beagle Point. Today's topic of discussion is avoiding drama, but before we get to that, let's go ahead and welcome all of our new viewers who are first time joining the channel. We are currently located right here, getting pretty close to the center of the galaxy and Sagittarius A star. We're returning from Beagle Point, way back at the upper corner of the galaxy, on our way back home to the bubble right there. We currently have 44 jumps until we hit Sagittarius A star, which is a good which is a good midpoint, and there's a station there where we'll be able to offload our data. The purpose of the journey has been to increase our exobiology rank to the status of elite, as well as make enough money to hopefully buy a fleet carrier. And you know, with all the various different 90 million plus credit options that we found along the way, I'm hoping we're well past that at this point. But there's no way to know until we get back to the station and find that out. So, as I said, I'd like to hurry up and get around the planet here, but I do try to have a topic of discussion for us to kind of go over while we're doing the sort of repetitive stuff of jumping and scanning and jumping and scanning and doing all of that kind of stuff. So if I haven't lost you already, let's go ahead and hop into the topic of discussion for today. We're going to be talking about avoiding drama, and it's one of those things that is very important to me because I am the kind of person who has always tried to find a way to avoid having to put up with the drama that comes from being around other people. Friction in general, in any form, is uncomfortable. Obviously, physical friction is very uncomfortable. There's also emotional and social friction, and unfortunately, it's just one of those things that you can't get away from. You can try to minimize it as much as you can, but if you have any kind of interactions with people, you're gonna have some kind of drama in your life. That's just the way that it is. And the more interactions you have, the more drama you're going to encounter, because that's just kind of the way that works. I really wish I had just gone straight up out of here, because I think I kind of shot myself in the foot staying so close to the planet here. And so, you know, if you have any kind of relationships with people, be it friendships or even more applicable, like a marriage or something like that, there's going to be a lot of drama associated with that, because you have two people with different people with different personalities trying to coexist together, and it doesn't always work out the way that you hope that it will. For my particular example for today's video, I was trying to run a sort of politics channel so I could have a place to kind of voice my opinion on various different topics, and anytime you step your foot in the arena of public opinion, you're gonna have a lot of pushback, and by that very nature, there's a lot of drama that comes with that. You get a lot of people who have severe disagreements with your opinion, and you know, some of the things that people say aren't going to be the nicest. I don't think I have to tell you that for you to know that, but I bring it up because I did have a politics channel that I was trying to run. I ended up deleting that channel because the encounters that I was having with people, while I know I wasn't in any kind of like danger or anything like that, I'm the kind of person who really does not enjoy having certain kinds of interactions, and having to listen to somebody attack my point of view because they just don't like what I have to say. It's just not something that was worth what I had to put up with to try to get my opinion out there. Biological 1. And you know, I fully understand that. Oh, that was quick. I fully understand that if you're going to try to put your opinion out there, you have to be ready to, you know, expect the backlash that comes with saying something that other people don't agree with. And I decided that rather than continuing to have to put up with the stress that comes with having to listen to people basically attacking what I have to say, I just decided, you know, this isn't worth it. It's not worth the negativity that's going to be thrust upon me to kind of do that. And it's one of the reasons why this channel and this gaming channel stays away from topics like that, which could potentially become something that causes people to get really upset and start, you know, leaving me the kind of comments that just make me not want to do this. Now, at the same time, you know, I have to keep in mind that no matter what I do, at some point there's going to be some people who regardless of what I do or what I say or how I try to present it, they just want to be angry. They just want to be upset. They just want to have something negative to say, and you can't avoid that entirely. But the kind of channel that I was running was the kind of channel that was provoking people into being that way, and was drawing the kind of comments and criticisms and things like that, which isn't necessarily, the kind of culture that I want to be around. So, as somebody who really just does not like the friction of drama between people, I ended up giving up on that channel pretty early on into its existence, because it just wasn't worth it. The potential rewards that I may have gotten out of it were just not worth the kind of frustration and negative energy from people that I was bound to get because of the type of content that I was creating. But I've said in the past that we always seek the path of least resistance, and for me, that was the path of least resistance for me. Are there no bodies on this planet? Did I not scan? I could have swore I was scanning. Oh, okay. I guess that was it. So, for me, the path of least resistance would just be like, you know what, this channel's not worth it. I'll just focus on my gaming channel, and hopefully that will take off and become something that actually, becomes something meaningful for me. And it's just one of those things that you kind of have to make a decision on and stick with it. I wasn't willing to stick with that, so I stuck with the, let's just stick with the gaming channel. Now, unfortunately, as much as you might want to try to avoid drama in your own life, one of the things that you kind of have to keep in the back of your head is that many people in life understand the idea that if they can find a way to wiggle themselves into control of various situations or resources or people or whatever it is that you want to find, for them that will be the path of least resistance, because now they have the ability to kind of push the things that they don't want to do off onto other people. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there's lots of people out there who are perfectly willing to manipulate or browbeat you into behaving or doing or whatever it is that they want in order to gain control over you and try to take from you what is rightfully yours. And unfortunately, the vast majority of people are too busy trying to do whatever it is that they want to be doing, and they're not necessarily paying really close attention to the kinds of things that are going on around them, to really notice the kind of manipulations that are going on around them. And, there's this kind of apathy that pervades pretty much all of us if you're not specifically involved in certain kinds of activities. Obviously, politics is one of those activities, but just, life in general, we don't tend to pay too much attention to the motivations of the people around us. We don't really pay attention to why people are doing the things that they're doing, and many times it's too late to stop certain things from happening because we waited. By the time we realized what was going on, it was just the momentum was too high to stop it. And eventually it gets to a point where you have no choice, because now the things that people are trying to impose upon you are so incredibly unbearable that you have no choice but to, stand up and fight against whatever it is that's going on. Now, obviously, you can apply that to societal concerns. You can apply that to relationship concerns. That applies to a multitude of different things. I don't really have a specific example of what I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to keep it as vague as possible so that you can apply it to whatever situation it is that you're trying to go to. It can apply to politics. It can apply to relationships. It can apply to personal existential crises, and all different kinds of things that our generally apathetic nature opens the door to. It's just kind of an unfortunate thing to the way that we are. If it's not something that feels like it needs to be addressed right now, we're almost always going to ignore it until it grows into something that is much harder to deal with. And that's why things like revolutions are so prevalent in our history. because, you know, we get involved in our normal day-to-day lives and we have personal goals that we're trying to meet, and we're not really paying attention to the different kinds of things that are going on around us and the other motivations of other people who, you know, are maybe more selfish than normal, and they're perfectly willing to, you know, step on other people to get what they want, and we end up just sitting by and letting it happen, and then finally it gets to the point where there's nothing else that we can do, and the only way to reverse the process is to, you know, resort to violence and resort to some kind of a revolution. And, you know, I like to think, I have something written down here: revolutions are born from apathy, and I really think that that's the case. I know that sounds counterintuitive until you start to think about the fact that, you know, the revolutions happen because the circumstances change to the point where people can't live anymore, and they get to that point because enough people weren't paying attention that it was allowed to devolve to that point, and nobody stepped in to fix the problem before it got to the point where people had to resort to violence to fix it. And then you have society resetting because, you know, enough people are angry and frustrated, and now they're willing to do something about it, that, you know, everything gets torn down. There's a societal reset where everything is just kind of wiped away, and we have to start over, and then the cycle starts all over again because we get back into a place where, you know, people move back into a place where they're comfortable again and focused on their own goals and not really paying attention to, you know, what's going on in society as a whole. There's I forget what it's called, but it's like every 80 years, or the fourth turning, or something like that. There's a theory about that, where like every 80 years we go through this cycle of, you know, chaos and peace and laziness and apathy and all this other stuff. I don't know how like solid that is, but I've heard of it before, and it does kind of make sense. And when you look back through history and see the rise and fall of empires, most of the time an empire falls because its citizens become apathetic, and you know, they're not paying attention. They lower their guard, and other people come in and kind of take over. And so, you know, it's one of those things that we always have to constantly be looking out for. And unfortunately, this kind of thing is, you know, something that can happen on micro levels as well, and it exists online, and it exists in every part of our lives. You know, the channels rise and channels fall, and a lot of times people aren't really paying attention. Oh, those are rocky bodies. Let's see if maybe we can find some biology over here. A lot of times, you know, people get involved in a lot of drama online because, we're definitely going to that. People get involved in a lot of drama online because, you know, you have different personalities wanting different things and trying to accomplish different things. Biological 6. Okay, we're going to have to be in this system for a couple of episodes, I think. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted because we're getting lots and lots of biology here, so I definitely want to go back and try to get all of these guys done. I don't know what this last one is. Oh, there it is. So we're definitely going to go ahead over to this guy here and get some scanning done. You always have to keep in the back of your mind the fact that, you know, there's always going to be people in any circumstances, including being online in a space like this, where they have their interests at heart and they don't give a crap about you, and they have no problem stepping in and trying to... Oh, my throttle was all the way down. They have no problem trying to step in and do something at your expense to make themselves look good or whatever it is. Other times you're going to make people angry, and they're going to step back in and try to, you know, take you down because you made them mad or you made them look bad or whatever it is. So, you know, if you're not careful, if you become apathetic about things, it's very easy to fall into an online version of this whole revolution thing. And there's plenty of videos out there talking about how content creators stepped in their own doo-doo and ended up causing some serious drama. And I've made it very clear in the past that I don't have a lot of patience for drama. I don't know how you force yourself to become comfortable with the friction of dealing with other people. And it kind of sucks because it's sort of a requirement in the public space to learn how to, or like I can force myself to put up with it when I have to, but I'm also just the kind of person who really tries to avoid it whenever possible. I really don't have the patience for unnecessary friction. And unfortunately, we live in a world where everybody has main character syndrome, and anytime something happens that they don't like, they're gonna make a big deal about it, and a lot of people just aren't able to let it go. Give me just a second. Well, I have to sneeze, but it won't come out now. It's gonna make me do it into the microphone. All right, let's get up close to here. I've more or less covered what all the bullet points that I had to say. Avoiding drama is just one of those things that you can't always do, and that's just an unfortunate side effect of interactions with people. You're just gonna have to put up with it. You're gonna have to learn to live with it and come up with your own ways of sheltering yourself from all of the different friction points that other people are going to impose upon you. And realistically, that's one of those things that you kind of have to customize to your own way of thinking. I don't really have any generic advice that could help you, other than the more you interact with people, the more you're going to have to deal with it. So that kind of sucks. But anyways, we're going to focus now on getting down to the planet. I'm going to leave it on Frutexa and then hope that we get close enough to some of this other stuff to actually get something done. I don't imagine that the stratum is going to be Stratum Tectonicus, because Stratum Tectonicus is usually found on planets with 2 biological sources. I'm not saying that it can't show up here, I'm just saying it's unlikely. I guess we'll go over to this guy here. Finally the sneeze came out. Alright, let's get down here. We'll find as many of these as we can before we run out of time. Man, it just really got in there. Okay. I'm not really too sure where some of the more widespread stuff is. So, with any luck, we'll land here, and everything will be kind of right where we need it to be. Get our landing gear out. We'll use our night vision to help with the contours and stuff. There's Frutexa down here. There's stratum down here. There's some bacteria down here. I think there was some fungoida as well, but I don't generally mess with that, because usually you have to go to more crazy terrain to find that stuff. Whoa. All right, so here's our Frutexa, I think, or sorry, our tussock. There was tussock and Frutexa, I think, and fungoida and some other stuff. Alright, tussock propagito emerald. Need 2 more of those, and then we'll probably grab the bacteria that's here. Get this way. Probably too high. Saw some back over here somewhere. Oh, it was just rocks. Boo! Alright, these are, though. Okay, just do this real quick. So I think what I'm going to do is I still have my weekend episodes to record, and I might go ahead and just close this one out early since I'm kind of done with the topic. and start on those. Finish out this by starting on those. So I think we're going to go ahead and call it an episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button if you did, so that the YouTube algorithm will know and send the video out to as many people as possible. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing now, so that when the next video comes out, it will show up in your feed and you'll be able to watch it as soon as it becomes available. Channel members get early access to all of my content, so be sure to click the join button, check out the list of options available there, and decide if any of those are right for you. If you're not interested in a membership but would like to support the channel, you can always leave YouTube's version of a tip with that thanks button. Direct contributions are greatly appreciated and a critical component to helping to turn this channel into a full-time gig, which is the dream. So again, thank you very much for your time. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Be sure to come back for the next one, and I'll see you then.